nice.
Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, and today we are continuing our look at the Transformers 1986 movie characters with Takara Tomi's United, Scourge, and Hasbro's Generations, Scourge. Yeah, double dose, since the sweeps are pretty much just the same fake, like design as Scourge himself. May as well do both Scourge and his sweeps. Okay, so Scourge actually went through a little bit of a change going from G1 to Generations, going from being a flying shoe to more of a flying wing type vehicle. And the transition does go pretty well for him. And there is enough there to actually give that feel of that flying shoe, but give it a more believable aerodynamic look. And the wing does work pretty well for him. And it goes pretty well. Now the Takara version naturally has more metallic paint on it and is a little bit more detailed. So if you want to make him your main Scourge while you have the Generations version as the sweeps, I think that will work pretty well. Especially since the Generations Hasbro version is going to be a lot easier to army build. But that said, I do like the deco on the Takara version better. I liked how the this piece here is actually matching the rest of the wing, as opposed to where it's trying to match up with the back here and the engine on this particular one. I also like how the stripe actually goes through the whole way. Gives it a more authoritative look, so it, like this one definitely screams leader jet or leader wing. So, and you may notice that his head is kind of peeking out there. You know, that's a carryover from G1, and you can push it down a little further to spruce it up a bit, but it does push the back landing gear down some. So yeah, you can push it down to make it a little less noticeable. Now, another feature is that he does have weapon storage, and I'm going over it for a particular reason, because he has weapons on both sides of his wings. This side here has a little mini blaster, like a little two-barreled blaster, which I can get this to lock back in. You may notice has a little C-clip on it. And on that little missile thing on it, what will be his head, you can see there is a part for a clip. So you can actually clip that gun on and give him some additional firepower, which is a nice feature. So I do dig that. And naturally the Hasbro version has the same feature. Works exactly the same way. But it is appreciated that it's available. Now, for some quick comparisons, let's bring in, well, the latest generation Cyclonus first, see how it goes with that. As you can see, yeah, I think these guys could follow along that Cyclonus pretty well. And I know A lot of people are hoping for new sweeps to go with the Cyclonus and making Galvatronus. But in the meantime, we got these sweeps to go on. And, well, we'll put it with my favorite version of Cyclonus, the Challenge at Cybertron version. So, yeah, again, goes very well. And I think this would actually go nicely with a 86 movie display. Because you need to have Cyclonus, you need to have Scourge, and you need to have the sweeps. So yeah, awesome. Gotta gotta love it. So yeah. But in any case, well, we get these guys into robot mode and see how they look there. So now that we got Scourge in robot mode, I'd say both versions are looking quite nice. Obviously, the Takara Scourge has a little bit more metallic paint on him, particularly on his chest, codpiece, and arms, while the Hasbro version's more of a solid blue. Now, getting a look at that head sculpt, it is very nice. You've got Scourge's little goatee and mustache, looking pretty good. Really works out very nicely. And as you can see, the Takara Scourge has his Decepticon symbol a little bit smaller and in the center, while Hasbro Scourge has a nice big one on his pec. So, yeah, take that as you like. Also, Takara Scourge uses silver for his hands, while Hasbro Scourge has more of a regular gray, but they do have the pink fingers, which is a classic trait of Scourge. And the blue on Scourge's legs is a little bit more muted than on, well, the Hasbro versions. So, yeah, Takara's got a little more muted, a little bit more metallics, which I like, and, you know, has a more, like a darker appearance overall. But both versions look good, and this one does seem to feel more like the minion piece, like he's a minion to this one, which is good because this guy's easier to army build. For example, well, Scourge needs his army of sweeps, so we'll get the sweeps in, and as you can see, it's nice to have Scourge with his whole gang. Now, another interesting thing is for the weapon. Now, you got a couple ways to wield it. As you can see, Takara Scourge has his gun in this fully combined form, while the Hasbro Scourge here actually is holding two different guns. So you got this little double-barrel blaster and a regular blaster. Now this one, as we saw in the vehicle mode, does have this little clip, which flips into the handle. But you can put it on the clip and then just clip it onto the main gun, because there is a clip point on the main gun. Provided I can coordinate my hands properly to do this. We'll get this on in no time. There we go. Snaps on, very easy. Now, another thing you have options on are how the wings work. As you can see, I got them unfurled like a cape, which is pretty signature for Scourge. But you can just fold them up for a little bit more of a compact look. So that's up to you, to your preference. Personally, for Scourge, I prefer to have them fully unfurled. For guys like Ratbat, who got a repaint out of this mold, and Serpentor, folding them in is more of an option. But anyway, let's get into articulation. So you got a ball jointed head, so you got full range of movement. You got up and down joint thanks to transformation, forward, back. You have a swivel right above the elbow, 90-degree bend at the elbow, a wrist swivel, waist swivel, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, nice knee bend, and I just killed a couple of sleeves and Scourge himself, but you also get forward backward and ankle pivot. So plenty opposing options for these guys, although mine have weak hip joints, so they tend to falter a bit. Which is a shame, but that's nothing a little floor polish or nail polish couldn't cure. Now my Takara Scourge actually is a little bit better, but still not perfect. But he is better able to get the wide leg poses. But in any case, I think it's time for some more size comparisons. Now, since I have him handy, we'll just do his repaint first. The TFCC Serpentor. Completely different, but as you can see, has the wings in the more folded up position. So yeah. But for more logical comparison points, let's bring in his buddy Cyclonus. This is the Challenge at Cybertron version. As you can see, we'll get him standing up a little more straight. If I can, I had to get his wings popped out a bit. There we go. And he is a little bit shorter than Cyclonus, but actually in good scale with the Deluxe, I think. We'll get these. We'll get this sweep tucked back to the back, and well, naturally we have to bring in the leader. We'll have to bring in Galvatron, who is about the same height. Now, I would have preferred Galvatron to be a Voyager. I think that would go better with it. But this looks good to have the three main villains together. I think that is very important. Like for Season 3 collectors, to have Galvatron, Scourge, and Cyclonus all together. And just for fun, since I got them here, gonna move Challenge Cyclonus and put in Combiner Wars Voyager Cyclonus. As you can see, once again, a bit taller than Scourge, but actually goes fairly well. So, honestly, either version of Cyclonus will go fine with Scourge. It's just your preference. But in any case, we gotta bring in one more comparison, or a couple more comparisons, because you know Scourge has enemies, right? So let's bring in Rodimus, who, or Hot Rod, who is actually a little bit taller than. And we'll bring in Ultra Magnus, who towers over him. And honestly, that's still in pretty good scale. So, yeah, Scourge is a really good scale for what you get here. And I do like it. So yeah, that should pretty much cover Scourge here. If you can get the Takara version, I would highly recommend it. It's a lovely paint job and does the character a lot of justice. And yeah, and if after you get the Takara version, pick up a couple like a couple of the Hasbro ones, just to give him his sweeps, because let's face it, how can you have Scourge without the sweeps? But anyway, yeah, I highly recommend this guy. So if you enjoyed this little video, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys Friday when we take a look at Ultra Magnus. Yeah, we're doing a new one, so look forward to that. Also, probably tomorrow. I'm not going to guarantee it, but we should also be taking a look at Serpentor. Since, you know, he's came out recently, I figured a bonus video would be nice. So I'm going to try to get this guy out tomorrow. And, you know, if not, I'll get him out as soon as I can. But anyway, take care, so long, have fun, and bye-bye. I'll see you next time.